Hey, what's up, Internet? My name is Kyle, back with another episode about cameras, tech, and all that good stuff. Today is episode 3 of the Editing Your Photos series. If you haven't seen it, I have an episode 1 and an episode 2. I will link it on the screen somewhere and also down in the description below if you want to check those out. You guys seem to really like these editing your photo videos, and I have so much fun making them. This is the last batch of photos that I have from you guys, so I will be posting soon on my Instagram stories the email address to send new photos to keep the series going, because I really had a great time doing this, and I love seeing the photos that you guys submit. They really blow me away each time I look at them. So without further ado, let's jump over to my iPad and my desk over there at a different camera angle and get the editing started. Let's do this. All right, we are over at the editing desk. Let's get this started. Okay, so the first photo is from Cy Zellner, and it is this beautiful, beautiful little pup or lab or what have you. And he is by the lake just having a grand old time. I love this photo. I like the negative space up top. I love the location, just the overall mood of it. And I can already tell editing this photo, it's gonna be even more moodier and kind of just that feeling of a foggy day at the lake. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do some basic stuff. I'm gonna up the contrast. Not too concerned with the exposure of this photo. It looks like it's exposed great, and I like the blown out top negative space, so we're not gonna try and bring the highlights back there. Yeah, so let's do just a little bit here. I think that's it really for the basics. I'm pretty pleased with it overall. So let's go ahead and jump into the S-curve and get a little kind of darker tones going. Bring down maybe the highlights just a smidge. See what we can do over here. I'm not going to do a fade or anything like that. I kind of want to make this, have the contrast in it. So I'm going to do some clarity. That's really what's going to kind of change this photo. Let's do 25. Already loving that and what it did to the pup's hair and fur and the floor, the ground here on the lake. Now let's go ahead and change this pup a little bit. I'm going to brighten him up. I'm going to brush on him. Oh, he would probably love this if we were actually brushing him in real life, but we're just doing it in Lightroom. We are going to clean this up. Don't worry. I know you're looking at me like, dude, you cannot color inside the lines, but do not fret, my friends. This doesn't have to be perfect. Most of the things I edit are for Instagram. I mean, if it's for a client or something like that, you want to obviously take your time with this stuff, but this is just for a YouTube video. So relax, I hope we're having a grand old time. And let's just edit this pup here in this nice little lake day. All right, that seems okay. Let's get some of the edges actually. Because when we change it, you would probably be able to see it on this side especially, or above his head. Okay, so what we're going to do is brighten him up a little bit. Huzzah! We're going to do a little clarity, because I don't want to make him look like he's 90 years old, but I want him to be a little gritty pup. So we'll do 11. He is already looking a little aged in his face because I did that, but dehaze a little bit of contrast, ever so slightly, a little sharpening on him, and then let's see how bright he's gotten, or at least like just how much more detail and just overall poppiness to him. I'm gonna brighten him up even a little more. That's what I think. Dude. Yeah? Yeah? I think that's good. Now what's really going to make him stand out a little bit is his eyeball. So what I want to do is go like this, go like that, I use radial filters on faces, just kind of habit, because faces are usually round, and it usually works out rather than having to do a brush. So I'm going to bring up the shadows a little bit on his face, 16, and then I'm going to do one on his eyeball, a lot smaller though. Well, not that small, like that. And then I'm going to lift the shadows on his eyes, so watch this. Boop. About there. Boom. So you can already see the difference. Ready? This is the before, and that's the after. Also, I'm not paying attention to the edges, but I can see some of the edges are like really kind of crude with the brush. But when you zoom out, and especially if you're looking on a phone and it's Instagram, it's going to look fine. Oh, I almost forgot. The second thing I wanted to look, or the first thing that I really wanted to fix, was the framing of this photo. If you notice, the horizon of the lake at the bottom of the mountains is crooked. Now, thankfully, I'm not the best at this, but thankfully, Lightroom has a little straightening tool, and it gets it closer to being straight. I don't think it's completely straight, but it got closer, and then you just adjust it a little bit, and I think that's straight. Don't quote me on that, but it looks better than what it did originally, which after you crop, when you go to the unedited, it doesn't. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to leave this guy alone. I really like that. What I could do is do a brush on like the whole background and not the dog, and do more clarity. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I am going to add a little bit of a vignette to kind of add on to the pup. And actually, now that I think about that, I might do a kind of a filter on the bottom here to kind of just push your eyes towards the dog. Really is all that's doing, just bringing down that, so it's like, hey, look at the dog, don't look at the the wood chips. Yeah, I really like how this has turned out so far. You could make it like a tad cooler, but I kind of, yeah, that's way too cool. I kind of like the warm tones of the stuff going on the shore. But anyway, I think that's it for this one. This is a really cool photo. And also, I wanted to mention, it was taken, if you look up at the top left-hand corner here, it was taken with a Canon Rebel T3i, which is the same camera that I got when I first started into photography and doing YouTube. It's not the best camera for doing YouTube, but for photography and stuff, it's still out there shooting awesome photos like this. So awesome job, Sai, with an older camera, f2.0, 30 millimeter. I don't know what a lens that is, but that's really cool. And yeah, this is the finished product, and this is the before. Pup just sitting on the lake, and then this is the after. A little more gritty, a little more moody, and like I said, we could have done clarity to the whole photo, but I think that is good. And yeah, I would definitely post that pup to Instagram. People would eat that up. So thank you so much for sending in that photo. Really enjoyed that one, and it's really beautifully shot with the negative space up top, beautiful pup in the middle, and the different layers that's going on in the photo. Really like it. All right, so let's get into the next photo. This name, gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna give it a try. Gaurav Biswas. Gaurav Biswas. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but I tried. He sent 2 photos, but this is the one that I have picked out. Let me start recording my screen so you guys can see it. This is a really cool photo. He says in his email that he used to frame the streets with a Canon PowerShot SX430IS. No idea if that's what he took this with. It's a JPEG. Oh yeah, it does say it. There we go. I didn't see it at first. So that's really cool. It's at f5, ISO 100, 14 millimeters. That's really wide, but I love this photo. A little bit of street photography and stuff like that. There's so much going on in this picture. I don't know what those things are on the shelf. Those things are classic, maybe movies or something. There's some candy above this guy. I don't know, is his pants ripped or something? There's like this cool lock over here. And the framing of this is really cool. So he's got the door frame kind of framing the subject here, this kind of closet. But anyway, let's get into editing this photo. It's super cool. I wish it was raw, but who knows if that PowerShot can even do raw. It says he's saving up for an a6000. So really stoked to see what he could do with that camera if he makes cool shots like this. So let's take a look. Also, actually, before I edit it, I want to just flip it into black and white because I feel like it's going to look rad as hell. Maybe. Contrast. Maybe some clarity. Some dehaze. Little dehaze. Little black and white action going on. Maybe. Let's run with it. Let's check it out. Let's explore the possibilities. Black and white may not be the route to go. That's before, and that's after. Not liking the black and white anymore. So let's see what those edits look like without black and white. Is like way too poppin', you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's like a sweet spot with clarity. I mean, this is an older dude, so I don't want to make him look like he's 150, but sometimes there's a sweet spot with the clarity, and plus he's not looking directly at the camera, so I think it's okay. Let's see, what else did we do? Everything is definitely more punchy. Not sure if I'm in love with what I've done though, but let's make that little closet darker. And then why don't we frame him a little bit? Let's do a little radial. John, are his pants ripped? What's going on? What's going on with your pants, dude? You don't like, got something going on there? How about that? Kind of, oh boy. Oh boy. Framing him out. How's his face looking? Face looking okay? Yeah, okay. I kind of like this now. Yeah. Let's bring the saturation down just a tad. Just a tad. Okay. Honestly, I think this is cool. This is just accentuating kind of the photo. So this is the before. Feels like a tiny bit flat, but I love the photo just straight out of camera. It's nice. And then this is what we ended up with. Making the closet darker, making the vignette stronger. You know, with the radial filter on the bottom, I could probably even accentuate that more, and bringing the focus really on to him. And then just kind of bringing the detail out in the picture. So this is the before, and this is the after. Kind of really, I feel like the after, you look at his face, and you look at this guy. Whereas on this, the before, it's kind of everything is the same. And then this, it's more about him, but also about this closet that he's in. Anyway, that was a really, really cool photo. I might even play around with it more, but for the sake of time, let's just stop that there. So thank you so much, Gorav. I hope I remotely got your name right. And yeah, I really appreciate you sending me that photo in, and keep killing it with a Canon PowerShot. That's awesome. Love it. Okay, this next photo is pretty rad, I must say. It's from David Samuel. He sent me a couple pictures, but this is the one I chose, and it is somewhere in some beautiful country, and this is just such a beautiful setting and a beautiful building. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It was shot on the Sony a6000 and the kit lens, the 16-50 at 16 millimeters at f3.5, which is as fast as it can shoot. And then shutter speed of 1/2000th of a second. So it must have been bright out. But yeah, I love the framing of this photo. Like, look at the detail on the pillar over here. Really cool. Even the like shadowed side. And then these things, no idea what they are. These like gold looking things, but we're definitely going to accentuate those. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So let's take a look. Right away, I'm going to kind of accentuate the highlights of this photo because it's so white, it's so bright, and I feel like the light outside the building is perfect. So I'm going to just kind of accentuate that a little bit and make the overall picture brighter. Because I feel like if you were inside this building and it was like a bright day, this is kind of what it would feel like, wouldn't it? Like, that's maybe what it looked like when he took this photo. I'm not sure, but I like it a little brighter. And then even going to make the whites a little whiter. Do a little contrast. And then let's go to sharpening. This is a JPEG though, so I got to be careful not to do too much to it because, you know, it's a JPEG. It's not a raw photo. Let's make sure the sharpening is all good. Let's do just a little tone curve. I don't want to mess with the highlights like too crazy. So as I was looking at this photo, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do with this part. If I wanted to kind of blacken that, because I could bring the shadows down with a select edit on that and make it look like that, or I could leave it like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it gives dimension to the photo, but it also is distracting you from the photo subject. Like when you look at the photo, you don't want to look to the left and look at this little flower design. I like it on this part, but on this part, it's like kind of a little distracting from the main focus, which is this great hall with these columns and stuff like that. But and I'm not going to crop it because it's already a weird crop. So I'm just going to leave it alone. But those are just some thoughts on that, a little feedback on that. But I do love the overall framing of this photo. So one other thing I wanted to do was accentuate these gold thingies, whatever they are, the like tops for the pillars. And what I'm going to do is go to yellow, which I believe they're mostly yellow, and up the luminance of them. So obviously you can see that is completely darkened with the luminance, but I want to like accentuate them a little bit. So, and you don't have to use like a selective edit for that. You can just go to the color because they're mostly that color and brighten it. So already you can tell this is the before and that's the after, what they look like. And then I do want to give a little clarity to this photo because actually if you notice when you do the clarity, the floor, the reflection in the floor, so this is nothing. And if you up it, let's actually zoom in on it. If you up the clarity, you can see like the floor, the reflection is becoming greater, which is kind of cool. If we had more time, I would probably make the floor reflection even more pronounced than it is right now. But I kind of like where we're at so far. So here's the before. Obviously the gold isn't as pronounced and everything like that. And then here is the after. Just brighten that bad boy up. Now the other thing I would do if we were gonna spend more time on this is I would take this railing out with Photoshop. I have seen recently the crazy power of Photoshop and removing things. Watch, this is probably like some super famous place and I have no idea. But educate me. Let me know in the comments what this is. I would love to know. And it looks like a really, really rad place to photograph. But yeah, so this is the before. Once again, take a look at it. And then this is the after. Really just brightening it up And like I said, if we have more time, I'd get rid of the railings in the bottom right and maybe accentuate the reflection on the floor and decide what to do with the pole or the pillar on the left. But yeah, that is a really cool place. Really awesome shot. And you shot it with the kit lens. Killing it out there with the kit lens. So, bravo. All right, this next photo is from Daksh Seth. Again, hopefully I'm not killing that name, but let's take a look. It is shot on the Sony a6000 on the zoom kit lens, zoom kit lens, the 55 to 210 OSS lens, and it's shot at f/18 at 55 millimeters, and it's a cool shot. I like the it was shot at f/18 to get the little flares of the lights, which is kind of cool. And then I think this looks like a minivan or something. Not the coolest car or vehicle to get in your photo, but yeah, there's a couple things I wanted to just go over with this photo while we edit it real quick. One is that there's a bunch of specs on here. You got to clean your lens or your sensor on your camera, which I am going to come out with a video soon on how to clean your camera with a cleaning kit. Also, it looks like you were doing some light trails. You could see the light trails of brake lights. Oh yeah, it was 6 seconds. So 6 seconds, f/18, ISO 100, full resolution. And it is a RAW file. So we're gonna do some cool stuff with this. If you up the exposure all the way, you'll see all the specs. And I bet you there's more than those two I see at the bottom. Boom. Aha. I see. Spec. So yeah, just take a look at just like using a blower, like one of the rocket looking things. I'll link it down in the description. It's in my camera accessories video where you could just blow out some of the specs. Hold your camera face center down, blow air into it, and some of those dirt things, specs, will fall out. So let's bring the exposure back down. I do want to bring the exposure up just a little bit. Kind of like the idea with a flat style photo for this. Let's do that. Let's go up here. Is this Oracle or Oracle the database company? That would be kind of funny. It might be. If you guys don't know, I work in IT. I don't work with Oracle databases that much. I'm more of a SQL person. Some people are probably like, what is this guy talking about, dude? Oh, am I just erasing what I just did? Yes, I am. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's delete that. Let's try again. Oh, let's fix these specs. Let's fix them, dude. Boop. Wait. Ah! No, I don't need a tutorial on it. How about that? How are we feeling about that? So, let's zoom all the way up. Boom. So, this is the before. We got the specs. It's a little darker. The van is, not very pronounced. I hope that's a van. It looks like a van. Oh, we got some specs in the sky, bro. What are these specs? Are those bats? The neon vibes going on with the Oracle sign and then the lights down in the bottom. Pretty cool, not gonna lie at all. I think that's it though. So this is the before. Van's not very pronounced. You got the dirt, the specs on the bottom, and this is the after. maybe we could do a little more. Hold on. Hold the front door. All right, so I think we are done with this photo. I did a couple little things and I sped up the footage, hopefully for your guys' sake, but there was specs down at the bottom, and then the van's not very pronounced, and then you just wanted to accentuate all the cool things about this photo, like the Oracle sign, the light trails on the street, and then the cool starburst that you see from the lights. Really cool framing of the shot, to be honest with you. I just wish the car wasn't a van, it was something cooler. But nonetheless, this is the final edit. Specs are gone. I removed this like other sign up here on the top left. There's some like bats flying around in the left right here that I removed, and then gave it that kind of flat look. It's a contrasty photo, but I felt like the flat faded look would do well with this, and the black of this photo. I don't know. I think this looks really cool. Overall, great shot with the zoom lens of all lenses to be using right here. So I guess maybe you weren't standing in the street when you shot this because it was at 55 millimeters. I don't know. Would love to see how this shot was done. But yeah, really cool shot, man. Thanks for letting me edit that photo, and I hope you dig the edit. Okay, last photo, and I'm gonna do this one pretty quickly because I feel like this video is super long already. But this is from Connor Lamb, and I think this photo is, let's see, is it the United Kingdom? No, it's Scotland, he says, which is really cool. Let's take a look. So this is in the this is in Scotland. This is a raw photo. It was shot with the Sony a6000 and the 35mm f1.8 Sony lens, which is a great lens, and it's really cool that he used it for this because people would think like a 35mm is not a landscape type lens, but he shot it vertically, you know, portrait style, and I do that as well with that lens and the Sony a6000. When I was in Yellowstone, was it Yellowstone? Yeah, I used this for a really cool shot of the Tetons, and that's what this reminds me of. So let's take a look. Also, I wanted to show you real quick, he did send me a JPEG, and then he sent me a RAW. This is the JPEG here. It's very cool toned. I'm assuming this is an edit from him, because it looks totally different than the RAW file. I don't think a JPEG would be that much different, so it's probably edited. And then this is the non-edited RAW file. So let's jump right in and do a quick edit of this guy. Let's bump up that clarity because I think it works really well with reflections. Kind of going back to that other photo in that kind of temple. I will not lie, I did a little test run edit on this photo because I wanted to edit it quickly for you guys. So I'm just gonna kind of go through real quick and do some stuff, which you guys have seen me do before, and I'll talk a little bit about it. I'm going to bring the highlights down here. Actually, yeah, let's bring that down, and then we'll get back to the mountains in a second. Whoops. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of do just real quick. Oh God, that was way too big. I'm just going to do a real quick brush adjustment on the mountains. Boom, much better, much better. All right, and then something else that I thought was a pretty slick idea. So I don't want to add clarity to like the whole entire bottom part of this photo. So I just figured I could do like a thin radial filter on the mountain and the tree reflection, and do that and make it look pretty rad, if I don't say so myself. And then let's do real quick, a thing on the sky, a little selective edit. Okay, I think that is my quick edit of this. So this, I think, is Connor's edit. It's very dreamlike. I kind of dig it. Very dreamlike. And then this is my edit. And then this is the original photo. So yeah, just made it kind of like dark and stormy. Yeah, so this is the original. Great scenery. My God, it was probably beautiful being in front of these mountains. And then this is the final edit of the photo. So thank you so much, Connor, for sending that in. And yeah, hope you dig the edit. All right, so that's gonna wrap this video up. I feel like these get really long, and I like watching long YouTube videos, so I hope these aren't too crazy long for you guys to watch, but it seems like you guys are digging them. So I will keep making them if you guys like them, because it's really fun for me. It's great when a video is fun for me to make and you guys like it. It's different when like you guys like it but it's not fun to make. Then it's like, what do I do? But anyway, I really appreciate your guys' time sticking with me to the end of this video if you got here. So thank you so much for just hanging out with me. And all right, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.